Hi friends, welcome back to Calm in the Chaos Homeschool. If you're new here, my name is Davine and I am homeschooling 4 kids ages 12, 12, 13, and 16. They are currently in 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade this year. Now today's video is going to be a little bit different. It is about my 9th grader, but there are a few things that are a little bit different with her schooling and her homeschooling. So I'm just going to explain that a little bit. First of all, my 9th grader this year, she joined something sort of like a charter school. So it is a little bit of a hybrid education experience. She does some classes at a public school, and then she's doing some classes at home, and that school gives her credit for it. So it's sort of set up to be sort of this half at home, half at school sort of situation. Now, she had expressed to me the last few years that she wanted to do something more like going to school. And there were some other things like we have a hard time sometimes. I have a hard time teaching her sometimes in certain areas. And so it was something that we were looking into. Now, I knew that just straight old public school was not going to be a good fit for her. I just did not feel that would be a good fit. So I started looking around and I found this charter school that's about half an hour from our house. And what they do is they meet on Mondays and Wednesdays. And generally, they're teaching 5 out of 6 of the credits, but they're also very flexible. So we have adjusted it to suit our home a little bit better. So this 9th grader, she does have a few learning challenges. So her curriculum is not going to look the same as other 9th graders, but the school is also very flexible with that. So it also made it a really good fit. So first of all, at the school, she is taking currently 4 credits. She is doing American literature, she is doing American history, she is doing career explorations, and she is doing math. Now, the math is adjusted to her level, so she is with a teacher there, the resource room teacher, and they're working through math together, which is great because that was one major area of contention for us. She really struggles with getting help for things, and then especially when it's coming from mom, extra challenging. So that is a nice one to be off of my plate. Originally, she started with the science at the school. She was doing chemistry at the school, but with this new school and all the new workload that was on her and just all the differences and changes, because she's not homeschooling and I can't adapt everything so specifically for her, we decided to drop chemistry and we decided that she would do an astronomy unit with me here at home. And that is something that the school accommodates. And then she's also doing an elective with me at home. And so I'm going to talk all about those things here. So she is doing those 4 classes at the school, and then we are doing some things at home. Some things are supplemental, some things are additional, and some things are part of her credits that she's getting for the school. So I'm just going to go through everything that she's doing with me and let you know how all of it is working for us so far this year. So first of all, I always pick up a planner for my girls. She has a little sticker on here. She loves Moana. And so I picked this up at Walmart. This is what she uses to keep track of the schoolwork that she has from her school, as well as I write in what I'm asking her to do the other days that she is at home. So she's at school on Mondays and Wednesdays, and so I don't give her additional schoolwork on those days. But Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, she is home with us, and so I do give her some additional work. And then she is also expected to join in with us during our group time. So if you want to see what we are covering during our group time together with my 6th through 9th grader, I will link that video below. In fact, I'll have the whole playlist with everything that I'm doing with all of my kids in the playlist linked below that will tell you my updates on our morning basket, our family subjects, and then how my 6th, 7th, and 8th grader are doing as well. So one of the things that I have her do just on Fridays is a little bit of extra math. We are currently still subscribed to CTC Math, so she's just working very slowly through that. I'm just giving her the math as a little bit of extra practice. She does get some math homework from the school, and that's what they do. They give homework. So they have classes those 2 days a week, and then they're assigned homework for the other days as well. So it's not like she doesn't have those classes on the days she's home with us, but I do supplement a bit. So she does a little bit of math, like once a week. She's doing some CTC math. She's just continuing on with the level that she was on, which is pretty much the level that she's doing at school as well. Now, I can't show you anything because it is an online math program, but it is what I have been using with my 6th, 7th, and this 9th grader for the past year and a half, and that has been going really well for us. So that is a math program that I really do like, especially for middle school math. Next, I just started her on this. This is You Are Beautiful and Courageous, a devotional for girls. So she's working through this just 3 times a week, the 3 days that she's home with me. So they have a very short little passage, and then they ask a question for them to reflect. She just finished the Bible Investigators Creation. I don't have that with me, but that was a lot of fun. It has a lot of fun problems to solve as you go through the Bible, and this was more specifically Genesis and creation. So she really enjoyed that one, but we just finished that one off and have started on this one at this point. And I don't know how she's feeling about this because it is still really new, but that's what she's doing for her personal devotions on the 3 days that she's home with me. Next, I have this binder here, and it has some of the language arts things that I'm asking her to do. So as I'm going through here, she has a tab for Spelling UC. She is currently on Spelling UC level E, and I think we will finish this part 2 this year. We finished part 1 last year, and we are working on part 2 this year. She just needs to keep working on spelling, and so we have really had good results with Spelling UC, so we're going to keep working on that with Spelling UC. Next, I have a tab for the Good and the Beautiful Handwriting. I think she might be on level 5, and so she really enjoys that. So that's just something we do not every day, but most days we have 1 page of handwriting. And then for grammar this year, she is doing Beowulf grammar. I got Beowulf grammar to do with my 2 middle school boys. It is generally intended for maybe 3rd through 6th graders, but it does work for middle schoolers. And in this case, I think it's a really great, fun review for her. So it's not too hard, and it has a dog in it, and she really likes it. So it's something that she really enjoys doing. And so we're just doing that to keep up on any grammar that she's learned throughout the years. So those pieces of language arts have been working well for us. 2 more other pieces of language arts that she is currently working through is Wordly Wise Book 5. I think we'll finish this year. We are going very slowly with this. Like I said, it's supplemental. She is doing a full language arts course through the school. So these subjects, these language arts things, I don't have them scheduled daily. They might be every other day, and those are just the days she's with me. So like I said, this is very supplemental just to keep her skills improving when it comes to language arts and spelling and grammar and things like that, just so that she can keep building the foundation that she will continue to need throughout high school, as she is doing like American literature, which is a full-on high school course. So I'm just continuing to work on the foundational skills that hopefully will help her do better through high school as she continues to go through high school. Then I am also having her do some reading for me. She does have reading with our American literature class, and so she has that, but I'm also having her read more at her own level with topics that we are learning about here at home. So 3 days a week, she is doing a novel for me, and she is using Not Consumed's reading journal to write down and record what she is reading about. Either this or she does an oral narration where she tells me about what's happening in the book. Now this says a complete reading curriculum for grades 2 through 5. So this is something that I had for her last year. I gave her the option of doing this or the middle school version, and she picked this, and I thought that was fine. So I'm just going to show you a few pages here. I thought it was a good choice for her last year, and then I did print off quite a few pages. So she is just finishing off the pages that she didn't finish off last year, and then we're just going to move into just written narration. So what that would mean was maybe in a composition notebook, write about a page of what is happening each day that she reads one of the novels that she's assigned. So this term, she has read a variety of books. She has read Mara, Daughter of the Nile, just because we are doing that in history this year. All the other kids are, and it just happened to be a book I had on hand. It is not the history she's learning currently. She's currently doing American history with her school, but I had her read that just because all my other kids were reading it. She has read Galileo and the Magic Numbers to go along with her science, which is astronomy this year. And I am starting to read this with my middle school boys because we have started the astronomy unit that I created as well. This is a really good book. I do highly recommend it for a living book about Galileo. It's a really good book. So she read that. She is currently reading A Girl Named Disaster because we are currently studying Africa in geography as a family. And so that is the book she's working on right now. She has read the graphic novel Illegal. I'll put a link here to show you what the cover looks like. I think I returned it to the library. So she read that as her Africa unit as well. The next book that she'll be reading about Africa is Journey to Joburg. So this is a little book about South Africa. So she should be reading that one shortly. And then there are 3 more science books that I think we're going to do in the car with all of my kids. Since all 3 of the kids that I bring with me to the charter school, well, I homeschool my boys at the library while she's attending school at the charter school. And so we can do audiobooks together, and they're all studying astronomy now. So some of the books that I know that I can get on audiobook that I plan on doing with them is this one. So we have George's Secret Key to the Universe. We have Hidden Figures, the Young Readers Edition. I did read both of these. This one was really good. I highly recommend it for a nonfiction. And then there's another one called Science Case, which is sort of a science fiction mystery set on the moon. So very interesting. So I think I listened to that on audiobook as well. So that's another audiobook that we can listen to in the car while we're driving to and from her school. Okay, so next I would like to talk about her astronomy. I have a ton of books to show you. The astronomy that she is doing this year is a 1-semester course, so she is getting close to the end of it. And I did create it myself, and it is intended for middle school grades. I would say 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, but the school said I could use it with her because she does have an IEP, and so it was an appropriate level for her. So she is working on this right now. So it is called Discovering the Wonders of the Universe, A Journey Through Astronomy. And it is sort of set up like this, grid style. And there's just a bunch of different books that I assign each week. And then there's written narration. There's some Christian books and secular books. And then I also have video links that go along with the topics. So like I said, I just started this unit with my 2 boys, and she's been doing it all of this semester. So some of the spines for this unit, I will link to the unit below, as well as my video showing my unit, but I'm just going to show you some of the books that she's been reading and some of the spines of this unit. So she is reading through this Amazing Space, a book of answers for kids. She uses this for her experiments. So Janice Van Cleve's Astronomy for Every Kid. So every week I have her do one of the experiments. She's reading DK Eyewitness Books Astronomy, and I will link all these books below as well. She is reading Space Maps, very fun and colorful book about space. And then she's also reading Planetarium. So a huge, beautiful book about space as well. So those are the spines that I have scheduled throughout this unit. And actually, there's another one. It's called DK Space Explorations, which she hasn't started yet. Then I do have a few Christian resource books that I'm having her read through as well. And so she is reading through Exploring the World of Astronomy by John Hudson Tinner. We love his books. We did a lot of his science books last year, and so it was perfect to add in astronomy this year. And then she's also reading the astronomy book here by Dr. Jonathan Henry. These are both Christian resources that she's reading. Then some additional resources that she's sort of going through as she's going through the units and the weeks. She has been looking at What We See in the Stars, Space Explorers, the Kids Book of the Night Sky, and then a bunch of these by Seymour Simon. So Jupiter, and we have Mars, and we have stars. So she just reads these on the weeks that she has those assigned. And then, like I said, I have a bunch of YouTube videos that go along with what she's learning. And so I just have a YouTube video playlist. And so she can click on it and watch the next video whenever it is assigned. And to keep track of her learning, I'm doing a few things. So she has this little booklet that I created for her, lab reports. And what I did was I went on to Teachers Pay Teachers and I found a free lab report form. I wanted a very simple one. And so I found one that looked like this and I did adjust it just to add more lines. This was a little more kiddish when I found it and I added some more information here. So we have the lab report, we have the date, experiment, hypothesis, materials, procedure. And then on the back, we have a place to draw the results and talk about what happened and what she learned. And so that is something that she does once a week, sort of her unofficial lab. And then she is keeping a lab journal. So every day that she does science, she has to pick some things that she learned, what she found interesting. And I'm not going to show you her work, but she will then have a space to write what part she's talking about, like what book she's talking about, what pages, the date. She draws a picture and then has space to write. I usually ask her for about 2 paragraphs of what she learned that day. So this is a space notebook that my other daughter helped me create, and they are for sale on Amazon. We have a bunch of different covers available, and we made a bunch for specifically astronomy. So I will link a link to the science journals down below. It is sort of that matte soft cover, and I think I put in, can't remember, like 180 pages, which would be enough for 90 days. So if you did it every other day, this science notebook would work for the whole year, and she's about halfway through, so that makes sense. So I am thinking of having her do earth science for the next semester. So I have to create something similar to this for her to do next semester, but she will probably continue to use this science notebook and it should fit in there. So that covers her science. And then something that she is not getting credit for at the school, but we are working on together as a family on those other 3 days a week. And then she has some additional work to do, is we are working on world geography, and she is doing Guest Hollow's textbook and answering the questions for the workbook in here and watching some videos. And so we do this about 1 lesson a week, so not a lot, but I wanted to finish off the Eastern Hemisphere, which is what we are doing together as a family. But then my girls are doing the Guest Hollow portion of it, the textbook and the workbook. And I think it's just really something really valuable to learn about different countries and cultures and sort of have an idea of how other people live and where they live and where things might be. So that is something that she has continued to work on. We should be done maybe a month or 2. So it's not something she's going to be doing all year. And once she finishes this, then she'll have a slightly lighter workload. And then the elective that we chose for her to do this school year for the charter school that we are doing here at home is photography for teens. So she's doing a photography course. This is a 1 semester course. It has 12 units, and I do have a full review for this curriculum. I will link that in the description box below if you want a closer look, but I don't want to show her work. But on section 12, basically it has a similar layout. They have a video and then they ask questions, so they have to record answers to the video. They have additional resources that they can click on online, and then they do a quiz, and so she writes her quiz results here. And then they will have an assignment that they have to go and take pictures using the techniques that were taught. So she has that page there. So she's getting close to being done this. I did sort of front load this a little bit for her. So hopefully she'll be done this photography course by Christmas. But then I think she's going to need a few extra hours. So I'm going to have to try to find some more things that she can do and come up with some sort of portfolio for her to show the school when she's done this, so that they can assign her the half credit for art that she would get from this. Okay, so I hope all of that made sense. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I would love to have a conversation with you. I would love to hear if you have any kids who are doing something a little different than the typical homeschooling. So technically we are not really homeschooling, but I still feel like we are, because we do so much together at home and we can still pick the curriculum that we want to use. And I just really do like this hybrid sort of experience at this point for this particular child. It's working out really well for us and our family. And so I would love to hear if you have any similar things going on. And if you're doing high school, how is that going for you? This is my first official high schooler, and I am doing it a little differently than I expected, but it has been working out well for us. So I would love to hear how your high school experience is going. Let me know in the comments below and we can chat. Thanks so much for coming today. If you like videos like this, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you later. Bye, everyone.